Okay, we are going to start today by talking about the nomenclature of carboxylic acid. Carboxylic acid have a CO2H, either written like that, or written like that, or backwards versions of each. And they all end with, okay, they end with me having to fix my computer. There we go. And they end with ic acid. No huge surprise. They're called carboxylic acid. So no surprise, these all end with ic acid. Formic acid, we have to learn that the first two carboxylic acids, they have very good systematic names. Methanoic acid, also known as formic acid. And it's the simplest carboxylic acid. HO carbonyl. And there you go, you're out of carbons. The next one, it's not on the quiz, but it could have been, would be acetic acid. Need to learn it. It's a very popular acid. And it just has one more carbon. So CH3, COO, OH. That's an aside. Must learn. Also known as ethanoic acid. That one, I don't think you needed help with. Benzoic acid, also a common carboxylic acid. It has the phenyl, and then the carboxylic acid. Its alternate name, which we need to learn, you can name the molecule that's not the carboxylic acid, just the ring, and that's benzene. And you can add the word carboxylic acid on the end. I hope that looks familiar, because we did the same thing with aldehydes when they were sticking off of rings. We added the word carbaldehyde at the end. Here it's not an aldehyde, it's an acid. So you have the word, two words, carboxylic acid at the end. Just like the fourth example down here. Looking forward to that. Isoheptanoic acid. You need to draw 6 carbons in a row. That gets you up to hex. 246, carboxylic acid. And to be iso, you need a V on the end. So there's your 7th carbon. Right there, verifying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one, you're told you need to draw cyclononine first. Cyclononine is a triple bonded. That's 2 carbons, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's cyclononine. Number it. 1, 2, 3, 4. On carbon 4, there's the carboxylic acid. The name says so. Not so bad, huh? No revelations in nomenclature anymore. We're just tweaking our old rules, aren't we? And we got that. A little smaller. Moving on up. This one, we have to find the longest chain. Parentheses are not our friends in this kind of nomenclature, so I crossed off the 2 and I went 1, 2, 3 carbons. The chain can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can go 6, 7, 8 down here, or 6, 7, 8 to the left. It doesn't matter. They're both propyl groups. One of the propyls is really part of the chain. So octanoic acid is the end of the name. Octanoic acid. And it's got a group. It's got a group that is on carbon 5, and it's called a propyl. 5-propyl. That's this group over here. 1, 2, 3 carbons is propyl. Moving on to our next example. We have a chain. I hope you've noticed that the carboxylic acid has to be carbon 1, even if I didn't say it before, because I've said it in class multiple times. The more bonds you have to oxygen, the higher priority the functional group. And this has 3 bonds to oxygen. So much more important than the ketone here. There will be no one in the name, no O-N-E, because this is more important. It's a 6-carbon acid. It's hexanoic acid with 2 groups on it. One of the groups is a methyl on 4. 4-methyl. What's that group on 5? If it's not a ketone, what's it called? Now, when I asked that question, and that question's misleading, it is a ketone. Like, don't get me wrong. You just can't call it one when you've got a carboxylic acid. So we call it an oxo group. Remember that? I hope so. 5-oxo hexanoic acid, and a stereocenter that is clearly got a carbonyl for 1, got a CH2 for 2, got a methyl for 3, hydrogen already on a dash for a 4, it's R. 1, 2, 3 is clockwise, and the 4 is on a dash. Groovy. Save the best for last. We've got a nice bicyclo. Bridgehead has to be number 1. I think this would be the best bridgehead because it puts a carboxylic acid there. 1, got to go biggest bridge first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. There's 2 bridge size 4s. There's 2 of them. Bridge size 4 to the left, bridge size 4 to the right. This one's got stuff on it. I better go here first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you're curious, the 7's over here. We don't need any more numbers, really. And it's a bicyclo, so it's got B-I-C-Y-C-L-O in its name. 4, 4, 1. That bridge in the middle is a 1. That adds up to 9 plus 2 is 11. Undeck 2-ene. And then separate words. Whoa, I didn't mean to move everything. I wanted to move just this. Thank you. One separate word. There's carboxylic acid sticking off the ring in 2 locations is what I wanted to say. And we do that by saying there's one of them on 1 separate word, one of them on 3. There's 2 of them. Dicarboxylic acid. And there's a group on 6 we haven't done yet. 6, you got a couple choices. I'll give you the one you're responsible for all the time. 6-12343 propenyl. And stereocenters on 1 and 6. Stereocenter on 1 coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm being nice today on this activity. I think all my number 4s are on dashes already. Yes. Because in my mind, I did something wrong. Yes, she asked a good question. How come number 6 has propenyl when it has 4 carbons? Butenyl. I had the 3 on my mind still. And I was butane. Yeah. Butane. Good question. Yeah, it's a 4-carbon group, bute, with a double bond between 3 and 4. 3-butene. And our stereocenter on number 1 is S. 1 is S. And moving on over to 6. Oh, yeah. 6 has got a 1 for the CH2 there. A 2 for a CH2 that hits a double bond on the 3rd carbon. You'd think that'd be tied with CH2 that hits a C double C on the 3rd carbon, but clearly the 3rd carbon on 2 beats the 3rd carbon on 3. What am I saying? The 3rd carbon on 2, 1, 2, 3, has no hydrogens, only bonds to carbon. The third bond from here, 1, 2, 3, is got an H. And 4 is already on a dash. Very sinister little molecule. 6S. And one closing comment. There's an alternate name for this. 6. Now check this out. You've never seen it before. Unless you really watch all the videos floating around. You can call it homoallele. So what does homo mean? Homo means 1 extra carbon. That's what it means. You can use homo, like homobenzyl would be phenyl, CH2, CH2. Because the phenyl CH2 gives you benzyl. Homobenzyl, phenyl CH2, then another CH2. And it is a fairly common thing you'll see in drug names, etc. And you'll say, oh, that's what we're doing. Well, homo just means 1 more carbon. Well, there's that unnatural amino acid that seems, well, it's natural. It's just like not used to make proteins, called homocysteine. You're going to hear about it someday, I promise. Homocysteine, what does it mean? Well, it's cysteine with an extra CH2 before a thiol, if you're curious. All right.
What else do you need to mention if it's a cis or trans?
That double bond is in a ring size 7. On the right is a ring size 7. Unnecessary, in fact, incorrect to say E or Z or cis or trans, correct? Only when ring size gets to 8 or higher does a double bond have geometry that could be otherwise. Good question. Good review question. And we're done with this video, and we'll see you on the other side. Ending here.